What to do, yo. It is your boy Pablo was good and welcome to another video. This is gonna be much more personal video, interacting. This is my video of why I think the Hulk might come back in the MCU. So let's start off with why I think this might be the case. So lately, on Instagram and TikTok especially, I've noticed a lot of people making a lot of Hulk edits, making you know all about all about praising the 2008 Incredible Hulk film. That a lot of people want that Hulk back due to its savagery. You get to see its anger. You get to see him get stronger the angrier he gets. You get to see his powers. You get to see how strong he can really be when he was fighting Abomination and the army. You see how he was wrestling these tanks, using his environments to his advantage. He was, remember, in the fight with Abomination, you get to see him chop a car in half. He was smashing it in half. Then he used them both as a weapon to punch the Abomination. He was using it as a shield when he was fighting the military. I think people want this Hulk back. I think it is about time we should get this back, and I think a lot of people are starting to think the same thing. Now, why I think lately a lot of people have been doing this is because of the She-Hulk show coming out soon. Due to all the trailers we've seen, I think a lot of people are starting to get fed up with the Professor Hulk. Uh, People are not a fan of the Professor Hulk, and I'm one of those. I'm one of those people that is not a fan of the Professor Hulk because that, in my opinion, I think that has ruined the character. In itself, the MCU really just threw away the most interesting part of Bruce Banner's character, which is the Hulk, and they kind of just threw him away because the Hulk is a part of Banner, but yet also a separate entity. He has a mind of itself, right? Now, in my opinion, I think the Hulk it was birthed due to Bruce Banner's trauma that he had with his father, because his father was a drunk and very abusive, and he killed his mother right in front of him when he was a child. So, and I think ever since that moment happened, that is when the Hulk was born, but in the subconscious mind. But obviously, we get to see that turn into a physical form of the Hulk. That is what we now know as when Banner was exposed to the radiation, to gamma radiation. So basically, as we know that the reason why the Hulk has been disrespected is I blame quite a few people with this. I blame Taika Waititi, and I blame the Russo brothers, and I also blame Mark Ruffalo, and of course Kevin Feige, because Kevin Feige is the one that allowed all this to happen. So let's just start with Taika Waititi. So as we know, on the release of Thor Ragnarok, we noticed that the Hulk was acting like a child, right? So as we now no, as was explained, that the Hulk is acting like a toddler because the Hulk has been in control for 3 years. Because it has been 3 years um since Age of Ultron was out. So when Age of Ultron came out, 3 years later, Ragnarok came out. So, or at least in the timeline, it is in the MCU. So obviously, at the end of Age of Ultron, the Hulk was on the Quinjet, and I guess he decided to fly into space. Um, I assume he wanted to be alone. He thought he was too dangerous to others, right? And so he went. I guess he just somehow landed in Sakaar, and as we now know, that is the Planet Hulk story in the comic books, at least, but also in Thor Ragnarok. That's where he landed. That's where he is, and he became a gladiator. Now, obviously, we found out that there has been a conflict between the Hulk and Banner, because the Hulk was tired of Banner, I guess, using him, and so that is why Hulk was forced. no, that's why the Hulk forced Banner to be at the back and Hulk to be in control for 3 whole years. And so that will happen, and I think Taika Waititi really just used this as an excuse to use Todd the Hulk for comedic effect for his own um humor, which in my opinion is very childish humor and wasn't funny to me, especially as a Hulk fan. To me, I was just cringing the whole time, just seeing Hulk say the dumbest thing like "you're a bad friend," all the yeah. Anyway, but so yeah, I think Taika Waititi was the beginning of it. That's to me, Ragnarok is the beginning of the Hulk's downfall as a character, but definitely after Infinity War. So this is where I'm gonna go to blame the Russo brothers. I think after what we witnessed in Infinity War and Endgame, uh, I say the Russo brothers do not know what to do with the Hulk. Hence why we barely got to see the Hulk in Infinity War. He barely had any screen time at all, and I think it was only in like the first 5 minutes and it got destroyed by Thanos. Now, in my opinion, I think Hulk should have gave Thanos a decent fight at the beginning of Infinity War. Not beat Thanos, but at least a bit of a longer fight. At least showing some sort of resistance. But all he did was literally Thanos just let him beat him up a bit because Ebony Maw just said, "Let him have his fun, right? Let him have his fun." And then Thanos just started wrecking him. He just started beating him up, threw him down to the ground like it was WWE, right? So that will happen in Infinity War, and we never got to see him again until Endgame. Now with Endgame, we definitely really never got to see the Hulk. Instead, we got Professor Hulk, which, in my opinion, that is just Banner, right? It's just a green Bruce Banner. That's what I call it. There's no Hulk in Professor Hulk in this MCU version that we saw in Endgame. It's definitely not like the Professor Hulk that we know in the comic books because the Professor Hulk in the comics, yes, he was still like a weaker version of the Savage Hulk, but he had like the personality of both Bruce Banner and the Hulk. So he was still smart. He was still thinking like Banner, but he also had like an attitude and can get pissed off as well. But obviously he's just not as strong. But even in my opinion, I didn't like Professor Hulk in the comics from what I've read. I've only read Future Imperfect, but and that had the Professor Hulk in those two comic books. But um, overall, not a fan of him, and especially the way the MCU did it, it was a disgrace in my opinion. And I think that's also to blame with Mark Ruffalo because I think during the marketing of Thor Ragnarok, uh, I remember I saw a clip of Mark Ruffalo in an interview, and he was explaining like what are they gonna do with the Hulk, and so he was like explaining like, oh, I went up to Kevin Feige and I wanted to know what are we gonna do with the Hulk's arc, and then he gave him the idea, which I think that was his. It was Mark Ruffalo's original idea to have him become the Professor Hulk, to which he thought it was them working together. In my opinion, it's not, because many people argue that this is character progression. This is character progression after Endgame. Everyone was just defending Professor Hulk. No, it is not character progression. Why? Because, like I said, you just took away the Hulk. You took away the Hulk. There's no Hulk in Professor Hulk. It's just Banner. Banner is in full control, which completely goes against what happened in Ragnarok, where Hulk was angry that Banner was in control and using the Hulk in the past. Before Age of Ultron, ever since he had the Hulk become a part of his life, he was like kind of just using him once he learned to control the Hulk, and the Hulk was tired of that. So that kind of just reversed everything that everyone's like trying to defend if to defend Professor Hulk in Endgame. So why I think the Hulk might come back. Now this is the real reason why I think the Hulk will come back. So due to this whole uproar and everyone protesting online, like they want the real Hulk back, they miss the real Hulk, and then We want to see him smash things. We want to see him be feared. We want to see the. Sorry for the cut, but where was I? So I kind of forgot. I kind of lost track. I think I was talking about the uproar and why people want the Hulk back. So yeah, okay, yeah, I remember. So we miss, I miss especially, but I think a lot of people are starting to miss um seeing the villain be feared of the Hulk. We miss that the Avengers knew that the Hulk was one of the strongest weapons that they had. You know, when Iron Man talked to Loki, when Loki said, "I had an army," what did Iron Man say back to him? What did Iron Man say back to him? We have a Hulk. In other words, Hulk in himself can destroy the whole army because he's freaking OP. He's freaking strong. That is the Hulk we want. Okay, we had a missed opportunity that the Russo brothers didn't utilize for some odd reason, and we know that there has been concept arts. There has been concept arts of Hulk getting his revenge on Thanos, and they never did it. I don't know what went through their head. I don't know who told them not to if they wanted to do it. If it could be Kevin Feige, but it could have been them. It could have been the writers. I don't know. But there were concept arts of the Hulk getting his revenge, and people wanted World War Hulk or him. Well, that's the name of the story. But World Breaker Hulk is what is called when he goes out in his absolute maddest form. So we didn't get that opportunity, right? But everyone wants the real Hulk back and make him go World Breaker Hulk. And another missed opportunity when he had to snap the fingers with the Infinity Stones, right? With the Infinity Gauntlet. They emit gamma radiation, and as we know, Hulk gets stronger, and I think he gets um psychologically he cannot control himself. He just goes into full on rage. But I definitely know he definitely gets stronger when he's exposed to gamma radiation. So that doesn't make sense why his arm is destroyed. That doesn't make sense why he isn't even angry or stronger. And after the rubble, everyone listen. Me and I think many people thought that when Hulk was in under that rubble that was destroyed by Thanos' ship, that we were gonna see the Hulk pissed the F off. Like he was ready to kill Thanos, at least try. I wanted to see that so bad, and I also had a theory before Endgame came out. I really thought that maybe Thanos would kill Black Widow, like maybe behead her with a sword in Endgame, and then that's when he goes Worldbreaker because we know in Age of Ultron that they had a thing together. Bruce Banner and Black Widow, like they had like some sort of uh romance, right? But and I think that would have been a great opportunity to show how much Banner was in love with Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow. But anyway, so people wanted World War Hulk, but I don't know. We'll see down the line, and this is another reason why I think that he might come back because we still got that storyline, still up for grabs and to be used. Obviously, it may not be the exact same way. Obviously, he's not gonna kill and destroy every single Marvel hero that comes out, right? Because that will be the end of the MCU, I guess. And but I think it would be cool if he definitely gets that. And lately, I've been hearing rumors, only just rumors, that there could be a World War Hulk show coming out. But I really hope it's a movie. I really hope they save it for an Avengers movie. But we know that there's gonna be two Avengers movie coming out in 2024 or 2025. I think it's 2024. But I guess we'll find out. I hope they just save it for later, but make it worth it and let us know that we will see the real Hulk back in action, right? Because the whole I think the 2008 Hulk was valid, and I think the 2012 Avengers Hulk was valid. I think those two Hulks were perfect. I mean, yeah, they're technically the same, but obviously different actors, different design, and they both kind of act a bit differently, but nonetheless, they were both Both of those Hulks were to be feared. Both of those Hulks were super strong. You get to see that Hulk in the 2012 Avengers movie where he just one punched that Leviathan. The Leviathan is a giant whale shit that flew. So that was sick, and we get to see how scary the Hulk was in the Avengers when it was chasing Black Widow. Like he was definitely something to be feared, and that's what I think they did very well. The director for the first Avengers movie and the director for the 2008 Incredible Hulk film. So I think that is something that we should get back to, something like a Hulk to be feared for. Now, another reason, I think my last reason why I think the Hulk will be back is because I think Disney Marvel is listening to us. I think they have been listening to us for quite a while now, and I think definitely after Endgame, a lot of people were complaining about Professor Hulk, but obviously not as much because everyone was still hyped up and everyone was just praising Endgame. But I think now after the new trailer of She-Hulk, I think a lot of people are now talking again about wanting the real Hulk back, and I think Disney Marvel is listening. And one of the proof is because a lot of people were fan casting John Krasinski as Reed Richards, right? We were all we all wanted this, especially at least the main general MCU fan base. They were fan casting John Krasinski as Reed Richards for quite a few years now. I remember seeing uh fan made arts of him in a Fantastic Four suit, uh, probably around like 2018, like around that time, just visualizing if the Fantastic Four came to the MCU, and a lot of people really wanted John Krasinski as Reed Richards, and I think after all that time, and all these concept arts that the fan has made, I think Disney listened and they finally did it. We got to see it in the Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange film. So I think it is a possibility that Disney Marvel is listening. Ever since Endgame came out, a lot of people have been complaining about how trash Hulk has been, how disrespected the character has been. And I, as a Hulk fan, we really want the real Hulk back. Honestly, I think I will cry if I see like some epic Hulk action, like actually beating up a villain, actually being rage, actually something to be feared about. I'll go absolutely crazy in the cinema. So I really want this to happen, and I really hope Disney and Marvel is listening, and I hope that they're at least writing down something, planning something in the future for Phase 5 or Phase 6. Probably not Phase 5, that's already confirmed, but at least Phase 6 or Phase 7, we get to see the real Hulk back. And I think that will be amazing, and I think that will be awesome. So that's all I really got to say. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'll be happy if they just bring back Savage Hulk and just stop this whole Professor Hulk thing. So I hope you all agree. I hope you understand. If you don't, comment down below. If you agree, comment down below. Okay, let's discuss it in the comments.